There.
And I'm going to go live on Facebook in just a second.
All right.
Brilliant.
So you all were talking about only letting 10 people into your classes each time?
We are, did we have somebody else join our group? Yes, I will, I'm going to do just 10 people, so 20 total to make sure they get quality time. It says live preparing, it's preparing us. Let me make sure I'm not missing a button I need to push. I am.
So I should probably
go live. Hold on, let me type in. Okay. The Chronicles. So many things.
I know. Come on, video.
Consider.
There. Go away.
Okay. I think we might be live. Live on Facebook. Let me put us in gallery view. Hello, Chrystopher.
Hello, Jessica. How are you?
Oh, I'm fantastic. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you.
We're both talking shit already. Damn, you love it.
Yeah, I'm like, I think both of us are not being so truthful right now with how we're feeling.
I mean, I may as well call us on it, right? Because I texted her before we started. I was like, hey, let's keep it short and sweet because.
Yeah, I felt that way too because I'm extremely tired. I slept 9 hours last night and I'm tired. So something's going on. You know what I mean?
I slept from midnight to 4, and then I was like, why don't I look at my social media, which was not a brilliant idea. Not brilliant.
No.
So I was like, let me sleep a little bit more. It was rough.
Oh, yeah. See, I don't know what's going, I mean, I do know what's going on, but like with ascension symptoms and everything, fatigue is definitely one, you know, like I woke up this morning feeling really heavy, feeling really sad.
Yeah.
So like I had to go into work a little bit later because I was crying for probably 30 minutes and just hysterically crying. And it's just like, where is that coming from? You know, what is that related to? So it could, I wish I had an answer like concretely, but.
I know for me today, I felt real scattered. I didn't feel right. I also, like, I have a headache right now, which I could say is probably ascension. And I feel like I've had some of my food allergens that I don't normally get because I can tell just in my body. So
Right.
that could be food related.
Right.
Yes. And so it's also the fall equinox tomorrow.
Yes. Yes. I have been reading into that, and you know, there's definitely changes that come with that and shifts, and the sun enters Libra tomorrow. So there's shifts happening, but you know, there's ascension symptoms happening when there aren't major shifts happening. Or I think, you know, maybe there's always a major shift happening, especially this year. So there's always some major shit happening, but
there's always a major shift.
Yeah. So I have been experiencing some pains in my body, like my knee, I've got pain there, and I've been feeling pain on my left side and the stiffness. And, you know, I've been keeping up with that Pure Intentions. Yeah, my neck is stiff, and I wake up with a lot of stiffness and things like that. And as much good food as I eat, and fruits and vegetables and all these supplements and everything. I wonder what I would feel like if I wasn't doing those things. God,
Right.
I'm scared to even think about that, because I'm like, I still feel like this, or I still have this. And I mean, look at the kind of waters that I'm drinking.
Oh,
Okay.
I'm drinking a ton of water.
Yeah. I mean, I'm thirsty all the time.
Well, I thought maybe I just had cotton mouth, but it was not. I'm like down in water like crazy today. And then my head, so I was having my amethyst. I'm like doing group tonight, and I'm like, and how about the pendulums that we're working on? I'm holding to my
Yeah.
head,
Yeah.
like, please help my head.
Yes. Well, I mean, you got to do something. I'm like, I'm sleeping with selenite under my pillow. I mean, we're just doing
Look
everything
at
we
our
can.
colors. Like, look at
I
us.
know.
Guys, we
I
like to
know.
match too.
I mean, that was perfect. And you definitely sent me a psychic message without even trying. Like, I imagined us having this conversation about keeping the video shorter. And then when it happened, I was like, oh, Lord. It's kind of sickening, actually. It's just like, and it just happened right after. So,
The universe is good.
yeah, the universe is good. So I, and again, I'm glad we talked last night, since there are people watching, but this is, we, it definitely helped me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, always.
So I'm still feeling, stuff coming up, and just looking into, I'm kind of in that place right now where I'm looking at, trying to keep up with transits and things like that, as to what could be triggering certain things, or what could be causing certain things in my life. And I have Neptune square Mercury still, which makes you question everything and make you not know what's real and what's not. And so I'm definitely looking up stuff and then going, but what if none of this is even real? Or looking into a certain kind of healing and going, what if that doesn't help me at all, and I spend all that money on it? And it's like, it's just a lot. There's just a lot to handle.
Yeah.
So, but I wonder, I'm like, what if I had all these kind of things come up, and I was just some normal person who didn't have someone like you, or have people around me who told me, the kind of dark places I could go, you know? Whew.
I think that's coming up for a lot of people. There are a lot of people going through those dark places that are
Mm-hmm. Dark night of the soul is
not surviving it.
they're not doing well. They're not. Suicide rates are the highest they've ever been. And that is not only because of coronavirus, but it's not just one thing. The ascension process, I mean, everybody was waking up to new realizations of their self, probably shadow aspects of themselves, and going into quarantine, and the world changing and routines changing caused them to have to come face to face with these things. And they opted out. They're going to come right back in and they're going to pick up where they left off.
Sure.
So,
And also, like, these things, you're right, they're coming up for everybody to heal. And like, how in the world are they managing it? We know there's a spiritual aspect, and it's still hard.
yes, exactly. It does not change the emotion or the experience of it whatsoever. I mean, I guess it does lighten it slightly to think this is something that will be transmuted and healed at some point, or this will be something that I'm going to let go of. Or, I mean, especially because you could spend 15 years in therapy trying to get to it, or you could, work through it using plants and using certain healing modalities and hypnotherapy. And there's just so, I do believe that the souls, our soul groups, our soul consciousness has not only decided, we call this it's a mass awakening and a great awakening, and the Schumann resonance of the planet is raising, the solar flares are coming in, which are causing different changes to our auras, okay, which are causing upgrades and things like that. These are all kind of biological and physical things that are happening that are corresponding to this. But I think that our awareness and our understanding of how to heal all of these things is updating as fast as we are too.
Yes, it is. And
So
there's so many different healing techniques that, we could go into. When I do my healing, yes, I'm using my Reiki, but I'm also using my drumming and my aromatherapy and my, crystals, and we might do past life therapy. But yeah, for me, the plants have been very generous on my healing. I feel like,
yeah. Yeah.
thank you, God, I'm a whole nother person. And remember, I speak to whatever religion you do. Like, I honor that.
Right, right.
God source, like, thank you, because I'm a whole nother person. And I don't know that I could have managed the emotions that I went through without knowing that I was healing things. Like,
Exactly, exactly. If you just there are times where certain emotions come up, or certain things come up that are so unbearable, that and so real and right in your face, that it's like, if this doesn't stop at some point, okay, or if this doesn't heal, the idea of healing, and we heal ourselves. That's the whole thing, is we're on this healing journey to heal ourselves.
yeah,
So doubt and fear and those types of things, when those come up, it's hard to tell if it's something that's coming up to be transmuted back into love, or if it's something that's coming up just because you've gotten yourself stuck in a loop, you know and it's like, am I ever going to heal? Because can I ever stop thinking that I can't heal? Because, but I'll tell you, there are just things that will happen in life that defy everyone's little fortune cookie sayings they have. Like, when I went to see that woman in Floyd's Knobs, I didn't believe that it was going to work. I expected to get back in the car and for my heart to drop again and for everything to start all over. I just hoped it would, because I was so desperate at that point. But it wasn't like it was the most dramatic thing in the world, except that feeling wasn't as strong. I still was anxious because I hadn't slept in 3 weeks. Okay. So I still did not feel right. I was not right. But I went home, and I was, from that point, was sleeping about 4 hours every night, and then 5, and then 6, and was eventually able to get back to sleep, and eventually able to feel a sense of normalcy a few months later, you know? But woo, I mean, that, if people say your expectation creates your reality, I'm all about that. I've always been into law of attraction and Abraham and all of that. But, sometimes your desire is a stronger vibration than your negative expectation.
there's also the sense that, when you're deep down in that emotion and you can't get a break, it's really hard to have that positive mindset.
Right.
Difficult. So I want to acknowledge that. And also, when I get that deep in, I mean, there have been times that I have just been on the bed, like bawling, my head in my hands, and I've had to pray. Like, I need you to let up. I cannot take this much depression. This is too much. I need you to please give me a break. And it wasn't so much that I was like, and I'm fine, but it was enough to where I could quit crying and I could fall asleep. I couldn't quit crying. I was like, I need you to let some of this up. Like, I want it to heal. I want you all to feel it to heal it, right? That's important. And
Yes.
okay, if you don't know what all of the things are that are coming up, just let the freaking tears go, because that's part of the release. And maybe the why will come later. Usually it will come up through some emotion. But, I've had to pray and just please take it away. And you're right. It's not so, when you're getting hard work, it's not like, I would like to walk out in the gold light, like just float down the steps and be in my gold light. And it's so subtle.
I can tell you that I am still, it's just me, I'm still looking for things like that. I'm still looking for that person who can give me that bam, that wham bam, who can really, because I hear so many stories, I watch so many things on Gaia where these healers or people who practice these different types of, shamanic soul retrieval, or EMDR or whatever. I'm just like, whatever this is, all this stuff that comes up. I mean,
I
whew, people think,
somebody too that just
Do
came
what?
to mind. I said, I just thought of somebody I know that's a healer that just came to mind that we just have started to connect, and she just popped in my mind, so I'll have to message you her info later, because she and I talked, and she's also a nurse practitioner.
Mm-hmm.
So, having that as well as the energy,
Right.
from what I understand, it's pretty amazing.
Yeah, I'm looking for amazing shit. And because I did not come this far and really, I mean, I've been on an ascension journey my whole life. We all have. Okay. That's what all of this is. That's why you've had past lives. That's why you have future lives. The whole thing is happening at once, but there is this within each page that you're reading, okay, within each frame of reference. You're working on it, then you're taking what has come. It's very, gosh, there's so much to think about. You can look at it linearly, you can look at it as stacked, it depends on which way you want to look at it, but the healed version of us already exists. And that's hard to grapple with too, because then your ego, the human part of you, wants to be like, how do I get there? Rather than,
Experience.
I mean, yeah, experiencing the healing. You just want to get healed already. And I'm like, what am I waiting for? I know what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting to, and it's not like I'm depressed. It's not like I'm, miserable in my life, but there are times where there's just such a sense of darkness and shadow and loneliness and emptiness that comes with the awakening and ascension process. It's called the dark night of the soul. When you stop, the dark night of the soul is something that it's not just one thing. It's not just something you go through once. It can be multiple times. It can be different aspects, different layers to it. And the dark night of the soul is a lot of ego disintegration, and you don't like the same things you normally did. You're not as passionate about things. There's depression comes with that. There is as the chakras are opening, releasing blockages and things like that, there are physiological components to all of that. When the third eye and the crown are receiving upgrades, your brain chemistry is going to be affected. Okay. And that's hard to grapple with, because who do you turn to for that? And what do you do in those times when you still have to go to work? You know what I mean? It's scary.
Absolutely.
It's very scary.
You aren't, like you said, with somebody like us that can help integrate those things back and help you integrate them back in, and help you to understand that you're integrating your shadow self. You're becoming aware of pieces of yourself that you didn't want to own, that you didn't want to know, that you didn't want to. Welcome to bisexual at 40. Woo! Like, oh, really?
Right.
Like that shadow piece that I had not acknowledged yet. And also like sexual traumas, like those they like to be in that shadow, and then you integrate it back in and you're like, oh wait,
Yes.
we fit it back in here in the suit. So
Right.
that
Right. In the
integrating it in, that can be really emotional. My piece, no. Other pieces, yes. Like the big sexual traumas, those can be big fucking pieces.
Yes, because we have so much shame and guilt wrapped around it.
There's layers
And layers of it.
not a one-time thing to heal something like that.
Yeah, and you kind of have to have a really strong spiritual understanding, because you get to a point where you're just hit so much with something that you're just like, there's no way, because they say the more you dig up, the more you find. It's like, well, I'm just going to fucking stop digging.
I mean, I get that.
Am I just reaching for a hope? What's the point of healing this for me? You see what I mean? The ego wants to know, the me wants to know, what am I getting out of all of this? Feeling better? Because am I just going to reveal more and more layers of pain? Because am I ever going to feel better? Or am I doing this for all the other lives? Am I doing this for all the generations back and all the generations forward? That's great. I want to be the guy in that story. But at the same time, like, do what?
Like the never-ending story.
It's a never-ending story. So It's like, I want to keep going and I want to do this. And the soul's going to make sure you do. That's the thing. The personality is talking to you right now. I'm the personality that's talking. There are aspects of me that are soul integrated, and there are aspects of me that are not. And I am definitely waiting. I mean, soul integrated is not necessarily our goal. Our goal is to accept where we are now and to keep healing pieces. And I even go back to, should we even be call it healing something? I mean, this whole process is, and everyone said there's no one way to do it, there's no one way this, and it's like, then why do we have all these different ways of doing something, and why it just gets so confusing. So I bet you there's people out there that are not as, just like the people on Instagram who devote their life to working out and their personal trainers, and we're like, why can't our body look like that? But it's all they do.
I tried that. It didn't work.
Me too. So I did that too. But you and I are in this field. I've always been into spirituality and stuff, but it's like we also tend to use spirituality as an escape from our pain,
Tell me more about that.
like, like back in the day, and this is definitely me, when I went through that breakup back in 2012, my friend told me about a medium in Bardstown, Kentucky, and I went, and because it made me feel so good, I wanted to go again. And it's not wrong. I think, of course, I was drawn to that. Okay, well, look at where I am now. But I also, whenever from that point forward, whenever something big would happen, or I would feel something that was too monumental, or I got into a really dark place, I wanted to go there to, so that I could know that I was going to be okay, instead of giving that reassurance to myself.
Absolutely. I agree completely. And me too.
But how are you supposed to know that you're going to be okay when you feel something that you've never felt before, or you feel something like, I don't know, you get to a point where you've had so many different spells, you're just like, this will be over again. But then there's parts of you that are like, maybe I do just have some kind of mental illness, and you spiral around to that again when you don't. But it's just like, fuck. I see sparkles, I see prana, I see things, orbs, I see those things. So I have to keep going in this direction. Okay, see, those are the things that hook you in. They hook you in. Your guides and your angels and your whatever, your star family, source, your higher self, they hook you in with the numbers and stuff, because it makes you go, oh, well, I want to doubt everything, but I see things that no other people can see. So maybe there is a real aspect to that. Maybe I can keep going. Okay. But sometimes that runs out too, because you're just face to face with things about yourself that you just don't think you can handle. Especially when they come from other lives or ancestors and things like that. I mean, I bet you there's a lot of people on here watching that are experiencing or have ancestral trauma that is making its way to the surface in many ways, and they don't know that that's what's happening.
No, I think you're right on that. Like, I don't think I realize. I mean, in my mind, like, I get it. I'm healing for my past ancestors and to help heal the future. I get it. Like, my mind can wrap around that, and not knowing that some of the things that come up really aren't yours at all. Like, it took me through my plant healing to really realize, as this stuff I was hanging on to my side, and I was like, oh shit, that's my mom's. You can go on, you can have it back. You can have it back. Let me help it. I had to get it out of this DNA. I had to get.
And I'm so glad you brought that up, because there is a type of healing called DNA light activation, not life activation, or no, DNA life activation.
Life.
See, life.
Okay. I've had light activation.
I've had light activation as well, but this is different. It's called DNA life activation. Her name is Teresa Bullard. She's on Gaia. She has her own show on Gaia. She has an entire episode devoted to the idea of ascension, and she talks about the light frequency. She's very scientific, okay? Very wise woman, okay? This is somebody that if you were watching her, you would feel like there's this powerful woman talking to me about this science and this mysticism and these ancient hermetic principles and the healing process. And, you know, you can just feel from her something different. And she talks about DNA light activation healing, and where you turn on certain genetic signaling or something in your DNA strand gets turned on by this activation, thus purging the junk DNA or the all the traumas, you know. And but a part of me is just like, holy shit, can all of that come out in a short amount of time in your life? Or do you just get to a point in your spiritual process where your life's going to be hell from now on?
I don't feel that at all. Like, I feel like through my healing process over the past year, what I've been doing the year plus now, I'm so much happier. Have I been through hell and felt like hell sometimes? Yes. Have I felt lonely and depressed and sad and fucking cried my fucking eyes out?
Yes. I know.
Anger, like I didn't know anger was so hard to go through. Like,
yes, it's a horrible emotion.
The anger, I tell you what, this apartment complex is lucky I didn't light this fucker up because I was about that going down.
Oh yeah.
I was like, can it not look like arson?
Oh yeah.
Like, ooh, you all.
Those are the aspects of. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, like, going through that, like, one, I knew, thank God, logical Jessica was like, now wait a minute, you're gonna be pissed off, you know, but like, I knew I was healing, but had I not known that that was healing, woo, there was a lot that could have gone wrong. And like, I feel like our guides and our angels and our peeps, like all our spirit team, whoever those are to you, they know when it's too much. They know they're gonna push the limit to help you heal it, but they also know, but had I not gone through this, I would not be this person I am now. I'm much more,
right.
I'm very low key. I still use cannabis to calm my ass down when I have anxiety and when I've got things going like this, you know, but I don't have, and talk to a provider. We're just going to do this real quick. I'm not a provider. I'm not a healthcare provider. I please see your medical professional. And I personally have not had to be on depression medication since I started this. And thank you, God. And I've been through some trauma. Is mine the worst? Probably not. Is it bad? Yeah. Do I feel like it's bad? No, because that's the life I was handed.
Right.
But I will continue to heal to be like real chill and feeling happy more.
Yeah, me too. I'm all about that. I see, you know, when you get to your later years, you'll look back at the times that you had your healing crises, and it'll just be little hiccups, you know, little 1 year, 2 year periods and things like that. And that's not a long time. But when you're in the middle of it,
exactly.
Just like when you get done with a shift at work and you're like, oh, it's done, you know, now what? But the entire day it was just dragging along. It's our perception of it. Absolutely. You know, because time is not flying when you're not having fun.
And I'm hearing like, and your perception's not wrong, you know, because it's your perception, right? So yes. And you're absolutely right. Like, it just feels like hell sometimes, and having support is important. So like, you and I have each other. We also have other people that we can turn to, but you having so somebody that can hear you when you're like not in a session, you've been doing healing work, you've already talked to your integration therapist, or healer. I'm like, what word did they want? You know, whoever you talk to, but you need, like Chris and I we've let some shit out on the phone. Lots of, you know, tears and anger and frustration, and also lots of love, you know. So it's so important when you're going through healing. If it doesn't make sense to you, don't hide it. Like, talk it out, because
Yeah, I mean, everybody's different. I could not go through what I went through without having people support me. But at the same time, there is a part of that it just gets so, you just have so much shame or so much guilt or just so much negative emotion that you want something out there to validate you. You want something over there to accept you because you can't accept yourself without their permission. It gets to that, you know, and those are aspects of the self that also need to be, you know, the inner child. So there's there's a lot of healing stuff that will come up in this ascension process. And there's a lot of dark periods. So it's going to happen regardless. I didn't really choose the things that have happened. Okay. I mean, I definitely pushed it toward that direction in my life, you know, meditating and doing certain, you know, psychedelic things, and, you know, going to meditation circles and feeling my third eye pulse for the first time. But those weren't things I was expecting, right? I think I was led to where I was supposed to go. But, you know, it's like the person who's 60 years old and they murdered someone when they were 19, and they're just a completely different human being now. You know what I mean? They just are so at peace, and they have forgiven themselves, and they love themselves, and they're just in a totally different spiritual place in their life. But they transmuted so much. I mean, I hear stories about that, you know, these old men I've seen interviews with and things like that. They're just so connected to Christ, or so connected, you know, or spiritually connected, or they became Buddhists, or they're just older now, and they just would never do that anymore. That's not me. And it's so weird how you can go from doing some things that you can be so ashamed of, and then your soul to move you to a more evolved place in one lifetime.
I mean, mine hasn't been that significant, obviously.
Yeah, I haven't killed anyone either, but
But I can think back to, and you knew part of me then, like, ooh, I could throw down in a party, and it didn't feel good, by the way, but I did it.
Right.
So
Right.
also wasn't a good person necessarily all the time when I was that self. Like, I look back and I think back to the things, the relationships I ruined, the way I treated people. Like, I'm not that person. And this obviously, again, not on the level of what you were saying, but
well, but from our perspective, it's not the same, you know, because the people out there look at murder and ruining a relationship as not the same. But if both sever a cord or end an energy of some kind, we could look at it equal in that way. You doing yourself a disservice and someone else a disservice in that way, you know, we could look at it that way. But oh God, I was about to go somewhere so good.
I'm just glad I wasn't the one to interrupt it.
Mm-hmm.
Did you bring it back? I was checking in on our messages. I'm going to say a couple hellos. I'm going to check in to see if you
We
have.
have some visitors.
Oh, okay. Let me say some hellos. And if you would like, we can finish up with some visitors, but we won't spend too much time. Let's see. Hey, Katie Justice.
Katie's on. I love Katie.
Crystal, Mamacita said she missed.
Mamacita.
You didn't say she misses me. I have to ask.
Well,
her.
she sees you way more often.
I was just kidding. Vasilique says hello, and Thomas says,
well. Oh, I love Sherry.
Oh, okay, it should go by Sherry. Okay, perfect.
Yes.
Welcome to the darkness. I've been waiting for you, Thomas Moonicle says. So we're here, Thomas. There we are.
She better turn the light on.
Barsha, hello to you. I'm glad this info is helpful. And hello, Jessa and Jeff. Hello, hello. All right. You want to finish up with some visitors?
Well, I think they belong to you.
Oh, shit. Here we go, y'all. It's about to get real. Let me get my tissues.
Do you know anyone who passed away, or who in a car accident or okay, but I'm also seeing orange construction cones, okay? So this is either someone who worked around construction or something like that. There is a man. Um, does this make sense to you yet?
I do have somebody who died in a car accident. I understand the color orange. I did cut orange cones separate from the orange color, and so I understand both.
Okay.
So I'm with you. And I'm making faces because I'm cracking up at the information coming.
Okay, so the oh, I don't know if I'm picking up on an angelic energy or if someone is telling me they were really into angels or something like that. Okay, so perfect.
You just pulled through two people.
Okay, so
that's where the orange cone came in. I knew you had her too.
Okay, so the orange cone has to do, I'm seeing the angel wings, or feeling like I'm saved, or I'm very in touch with angels, or I was saved by an angel or something like that. Okay.
I know what you're saying.
So something happened to the neck, okay, or something with the neck, okay, and did this person have children? Okay. Was this person pregnant?
I don't know the answer to that. I would say maybe, very possible.
I feel like
three people there.
Goodness gracious.
I know who they all are. I know.
Okay.
So I just am acknowledging that.
Who had the curly brown hair?
That would be my mom or her mom. You've got them both.
Okay. So, but this is the curly brown hair that looks kind of 80s. Okay. It's a little on the frizzier side and it's big. Okay. Okay. There's also something that happens to the stomach. Okay. And that's where I'm getting kind of like something about pregnancy as well, but there's also something happening with the stomach. And there is a lot of police cars or ambulance or something like that in one of these scenarios here, okay?
Actually, but all three of those people, two together, one separate, all very tragic.
I see.
They're all relate, like mother, father, daughter.
Okay, there's a man.
Uh-huh.
Okay, perfect. Did this man smoke cigarettes?
May have, I don't know.
Okay, so and drink beer. Okay, this is someone who liked beer and cigarettes, okay? I think this is your mom. She's, if I'm remembering this correctly, showing me like wearing a white or cream sweater or something like that, whether it's a turtleneck or something. It feels familiar to me, like I've said this before, okay? Okay, who got hit in the head or who had a head trauma?
Mom.
Okay, perfect. I'm sorry, just have to go with this. She's showing me her teeth. Did she have similar teeth to you, or did she have something? Why is she showing me her teeth and she's wanting me to go to you?
Because I'm a dental hygienist and I cleaned her teeth.
Okay, but there's something about the way they looked because she didn't like them or something?
Like them. She did.
Oh, okay.
And also, like, we had to use her dental records.
I see. I understand. She's making me feel like your teeth, there's something unique about them that could be recognized, okay? And okay, I don't really want to do this on live video.
Okay.
What she kind of just went into. I don't want to go into that.
Okay. I'm okay with
that. So that was
just so I
started to get violent. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. I know
okay.
violence.
Okay.
I'm familiar.
Mm.
And I'm comfortable.
She wants me to talk about it.
Okay.
Is she kind of forceful?
I'm probably more forceful than she is, really. Like, she can be insistent, but not
She's
as
being very insistent. Your mom wants to talk about how she was ready to change her life in some way before this happened. Okay.
Yeah.
She was ready to change her life. She was ready to change the way she looked. Was she with someone in a relationship when this happened? She was ready to either not be with that person or something like that. Okay. And she was ready to change the way her body looked, her health. There was some kind of pre-existing health condition, or there was something that the doctors had said, and she was going to change these things. Okay. And there's a lot of that was left behind. She wants you to clear some of this as you took it personally. Okay. What I mean by that is, I'm going to say that she's going to say that you still are creating scenarios in your head of what happened. Okay. And this is okay. And that there are times where your energy is going to something in your life to make up, almost as if you want to make sure that you get your life where you get it, because this was so unexpected. Okay, she was not expecting anything like this, and you kind of took the, hold on, this is hard to explain.
You're doing a great job.
She's talking about, like, there's a part of you that almost worries if something like that would ever happen to you, or something like this. Okay, because things can just happen, and that you don't want to leave having not taken your life back into your own hands. Okay, and she's wanting you to sometimes you're pushing too hard on life to make sure that you get to a certain point so that you don't have the same regrets, and that you don't. Are you wanting to have children?
Oh, Lord, I have not decided yet. Maybe. I'm just going to be a hardcore maybe for that. If the universe wants me to have children, I will.
So she's taking me to you leaving behind children or people. I'm saying children that won't feel like when you go, you didn't complete something. And okay, so she's going to bring up her father.
Yes, she pulled him through, so that's perfect.
Okay, perfect. So he's here?
Yep, he's been.
Oh, that was the guy? Okay. But was her father similar to your father? In the way they looked? Oh, you wouldn't know.
I wouldn't know that either.
There's certain similarities because I thought it was your dad.
And it could be,
It could be.
but
Okay,
different passings.
the hat. Who had the heart issues?
Dad had more of a heart, maybe like high blood pressure though.
Hmm. But there is the man with the hat and the belly and the scruffy facial hair, like a beard. Um,
That feels more like dad to me.
yes, that's also here. So, but she's mentioning her father. And did you know about the relationship between the two? She's mentioning, huh? Very little. Well, she's mentioning something significant about that. Okay. Um,
Mm-hmm.
she's going to piggyback on our conversation right now about healing things and that sort of thing. She did not.
Mm-hmm.
Was your mother into any kind of drugs or drinking or something like this?
My mother was an alcoholic, and
Oh, okay. So she's talking about that was the way in which that energy cord, okay? This doesn't feel like my wording. I don't really like using word stuff like that, okay? So I'm just going to keep going with this. She keeps taking me to the side right here. And when you leaned back in the chair earlier, I heard over here, not like a voice, but I just thought it was me saying, when you were like, I'm just going to give that back to her, she was like, it's not mine.
fuck.
So,
Somebody
like,
else's.
well, but it didn't belong to her either.
Right. It's a link.
Okay. Yes, but there's a past neglect. She's using the term neglect. Okay. Did you ever feel neglect?
Sure.
Okay. So, um, you let me know how much you're willing to do
Yeah,
right
I'm
now
good.
on the
You keep
live.
going. I'll stop you. But
Okay. So she's using the term neglect, okay, and that there is this. She felt like a disappointment, okay, and it. She wanted to escape from that, but could your mother get angry sometimes? Okay, she's talking about she would lash out or she would blame someone else, okay, because it was her awareness or her understanding. She's going to go back to our conversation about, remember how you felt when you were younger and you're the person now. She was ready to do that. Okay. Now, everything happens for a reason. And so the, now she is saying that this was chosen in the way in which this was to happen. Okay. Um, But earlier, if you just want to go for it, she was showing me how. Okay. Um, but it was as if someone grabbed her by her hair and pulled her back, okay, from walking away or something. And um, this person had boots on.
okay.
Does that make sense?
Maybe. I mean, he very likely could have.
These are just like not cowboy boots or like more like work boots or something like that.
That's how
Okay.
I see them too, and I don't know that information. So
Right. Well, I feel like she's able to see them, and I saw them immediately.
she did know them.
Was this person younger than her?
You tell me.
I feel like yes.
Okay, here's the deal. We've always been told psychically that there were two involved. Only one's been arrested, but they're related. She's just confirming.
There's a younger one, okay?
No.
And it feels like I look like I'm late 20s and or in my 30s, okay? And I also have a hat on. There is a truck as well, okay? Um, and it's not an old beat up truck. This would have been a newer truck.
Okay. I don't know the newer truck, but she was in a vehicle. She was moved to a vehicle.
Okay. The rims are shiny. This is not an old beater truck. Okay.
Is she giving you, so here's a good question for you. Is she giving you the vehicle of the younger male, possibly?
Yes, it belongs to him.
I'm writing that shit down.
Okay.
We
So
didn't know who that is, but there's no proof. There wasn't enough evidence even hardly to get Tom convicted.
was this, I really am holding back.
I know you are. I'm not scared.
Was this sexual in nature?
No. I wondered that too myself, but it was not.
Maybe not the crime, but one of them feeling this way about her?
Correct.
Okay, perfect. I think this person works in some kind of construction or works manual labor because there's dirt under the fingernails. Okay? She's showing me dirt under the fingernails.
I understand that.
Or like a mechanic or something, how their fingernails always have dirt under the fingernails.
Oh, okay. What color's the truck? Oh, my bad. You're right. I got it. I know where the truck.
Well, she keeps showing me the color red.
Okay. I don't remember. I don't even know. I asked. It could have been red. I thought it was black, but there was a truck. She was the night she went missing.
His hat was red.
That was red.
The red on the hat, and there's also a button-down shirt that's open, maybe a white shirt underneath, something like that. Okay. She does that. She's going to make it very clear that, oh God, I want to make sure that this has nothing to do with my ego if I say this. She wants to make sure very clear that this is not the purpose of this conversation.
Oh, which part? Like the purpose of
Finding out who he is.
Yeah.
She wants to validate you, and she wants you to. Oh, have you been wondering what the next piece is, or like what the next layer is, or what the next thing is that you can heal or let go of, or something? Because she's trying to give you a hint into something, like when it comes to all these things you're talking about, letting go of or healing, there is a pattern of, oh, okay. She also wants to take you to the guilt of not being around your nephews, or feeling like you're not around enough. Okay. She says, I'm going to say for her, observe that as if maybe that's not yours. She felt that too. Okay. There is this neglecting things, not because you don't love it, but because you're worried about tainting it. Okay. There's this energy that she had about maybe they're better off without me around, or something like this. Okay. Well, I just told her, I think Jessica knows that. She wants me to reinforce the fact that there are some pieces that feel unloved in you. okay, and that need to be processed and revisited. And she wants you to take it and give you permission. Does depression run in your family, or they say that? Okay, she's talking about this. Um, okay, there's an older woman, and this feels like she had depressive episodes, or she was also dealt with this type of thing.
Okay.
Okay. But she's much older and she's more frail.
Okay.
She's kind of thin and frail.
I know who she is.
Okay, perfect.
That's most of the side that the depression comes from. That's my grandmother on my father's side, I believe.
Okay, well, that's perfect because they were mentioning how it was coming from both sides. Okay, so then this woman who came in that felt not like your mom, or it looked different than the way your mom's mom would look, or the way it was feeling. And I thought, oh no, is this not right? Am I not, this isn't going to be right. The woman who's more thin and frail also, I feel, is she passed as well?
She is.
Well, then I think she's stepping forward as well. Um, who had a bird?
I mean, we did. We had
Who
birds.
did?
Me and my brother and sister, like.
In a cage?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
People still do that.
Yeah, but I mean, this is
I don't know why
like
it's
coming
important.
out of no. Huh?
I don't know why it's important yet, but
Well, but
keep talking. I'm gonna pause my video for just a second. I'm listening.
okay, I'm also seeing a house.
That house is been in our family for a long time, if it's her house.
Whose house?
My grandmother's.
The one on your dad's side?
Yeah.
Did you all ever live in it?
Yes.
Okay, I think that's just what she's talking about. Did you all ever have birds in that house?
No, we didn't.
Why would she show me that?
I have birds on my tattoo.
This looks like a green bird. Anyway.
Well, there's a green bird. We had a green bird. We had it in a cage, like when I was in elementary school, maybe. And then, I mean, I know another grandmother that had a green bird, but she's not my grandmother, and I think she's still living.
Hmm. No, this feels like it's coming from the father's mother, like it happened at the same time. But again, I could be getting all kinds of information from all kinds of different places. So I just want to make sure. Okay, so did you all have a memorial for your mother?
Yes.
Is this coming up on, because I feel like she wants you to either go visit something or bring flowers somewhere is what this looks like.
Yeah.
Okay. don't do that. She's like getting quiet. Okay, this is how it's coming through. Like I've said what I had to say, and now you almost have to ask her. Like I'm gonna have to ask her for more information, and she's showing me things. When's the last time? There's a specific place that she is, correct? Okay. When's the last time you were there?
Is that a while?
She's okay. Well, I think she's talking about going back or taking. Oh, maybe taking. You know what I mean by that? Taking the flowers, but also taking them.
Yeah, they like to do that. They like to run around in the graveyard.
Okay.
We pass dad pretty often, and mom's in a different spot, so she probably gets a little neglected out there.
Yeah, and it's more about you all doing it together. That's what it's about.
Well, and it's not an anniversary for her coming up. Well, her birthday's in December, but I have the kids next week for 5 days.
Okay, well, maybe she's suggesting to do that. But there's a specific type of flower.
Uh-huh. Is it this one?
And there's several. Okay, did someone have a garden?
Granny had a garden.
Okay. Because there's specific types of, it looks like, I don't know what to call that. I don't even know what it is.
Favorite flower is a lily. That's why I have it here.
Okay. Well, I think there's the way it looks to me is different, but she's showing me a specific flower. So I'm going to say she's get lilies, but they're white and a different color.
That's cool.
So,
but yes, I think lilies are different colors. Like they're not just one color. I don't know. But I used to take them out there with flowers, and we'd just pick some up and drop, stop by.
Yes.
And Gemma likes to call her Diane, not Nana, because they didn't know her. So she calls her Diane.
Right. Oh, that's cute.
She does talk about her. It's sweet.
Are you wanting to write a book, or are you wanting to write something about all of this?
I've been told I would write 4 books.
Okay.
And before she passed, Marilyn Gaddy had told her years before that I would write a book. And it's come up recently that I will probably write like 4. So I'll let you know.
Well, I think she's talking about this. Now, it's the way that it's coming across to me is that we're writing it from a medium psychic perspective. Okay?
Yeah.
But it's about the family, it's about the whole thing that happened. And
yes.
Okay, she's almost making me feel like either Lily or some flower should be in the title or something like this.
Chrissy Marie, write a book. I'll write a book.
Yeah, I think okay. I know we were supposed to keep this short tonight. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. Thank you for the surprise reading. Like, I'm grateful for that. And also, see, I lost it too. There was something I was going to say and it just totally went.
Well, what are you getting?
Oh, I was going to say, I feel like the book is probably, yes, maybe a lot about her, but finding her, we used a psychic to find her. Like she was missing for a whole week.
That's what this feels like, that it's going to be about that.
Just reading, my mentoring, been studying forensics, which is heavy work.
Yes, this is what this feels like.
It's coming forward more and more, and it's
big stuff.
Big stuff. And, we were just lucky we did find her.
Yeah, I'm going to have to say that this is kind of one of the big reasons that, like, this is kind of like all kinds of puzzle pieces coming together, is what this feels like. Like, kind of the way I used to go to see mediums and stuff, and used to watch, and then I ended up doing it like this similar type of thing for you. And this is what the book will have a lot to do with.
Okay. That makes sense, because where my story starts is 8 months before she passed, I got a medium message for her. And that's when my gifts opened up. And it was somebody that she was very close to who had passed tragically, and they weren't speaking at that time. So 8 months before she passed, that message is coming in, but there were so many scary experiences around it. So I'm sure. So thank you for the clarity on that. I'll make that one of my next projects after my oracle card deck.
Well, no rush, because she wants you to get it. She wants it to be done right.
Yeah, I'm sure there's some channeling that'll come into that. Yeah. Yeah.
So, all right. Well,
this week for sure. Don't worry. I caught on. They were like, no wonder you're here. And I slapped my hand here. And Ellen Joan goes, oh, that was so cute. You thought you could hide that. I was like, I didn't even because they were downloading. You're like, oh. Yeah.
I know.
I was like, I just got a lot of clarity on why I'm at Psychic Sunday. Like, thank you, universe. But thanks for the clarity on all that. And like, I know a lot of people didn't know the story. I'm very open about it. I would have stopped you if I felt like I needed to. I'm very good at keeping my emotions strong, and sometimes this hits me hard and sometimes it doesn't. So by any
right.
For those of you out there, I'm not being non-emotional, but this is something that I've talked about for over 10 years.
Yeah, but you've healed a lot of this, so it's been a long time, and you've healed a lot of it. You know, just like Dawn. Dawn is somebody who, she understands what happened from a spiritual perspective. And, I've talked to her about it, and people have judged her for not being on the floor in a pile of mess. And it's like, when you have done the amount of healing that she's done,
Yeah.
So.
And I feel like I have done a lot of healing on that, and also have been on the floor in a pile. I mean, I was not my best self then.
Absolutely.
Active was like,
no, absolutely.
not doing any longer. I'll contact your school, because I was so, extreme emotions and not fully in balance. Like I've spent years now balancing myself. And do we get out of balance every day? Sure. But I've spent years like opening up and being able to balance myself so that I can handle this. Is it always stable? No, sometimes it's unstable, but
yes.
Yeah.
Well, this is the 5th time she said this now, but she's saying I love you. Okay. And that she is saying, did she not say that a lot? Okay, because she's going into that now, where she's going to overcompensate for that. Okay, perfect.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, you're welcome. There's so much more, but I'm gonna stop.
She gave you bits and pieces of humor that you didn't know were humor, like the 2 cones.
Yeah, I don't have a clue what that means, but as long as you do.
I do. Oh my gosh.
Okay, well,
I
cool.
was in an accident, and I was probably saved by angels, like she said, because I was not in my best. I may have had a DUI.
Right.
Black
Okay.
and 2 cones under my car and a black eye. So she was one, she was like, don't you ever judge me again. And then she took me to go get my car and to get Frisch's Burgers. For home, because I sure wasn't eating what I had in jail, which was a roach in my lunch bag. So now when I talk about things I've healed and I'm a different person, like, here it is. I'm an open book. I don't care to share that, but I'm not that person. Like, who? Thank you, God, for
Well,
saving.
that gives me hope. That gives me hope. Gosh, that's probably why you're so sure sometimes when I'm like, Jessica, can I heal this? And you're like, I mean,
Dear
you
Lord, I
can't
know.
say, yeah, how you can just become so different. Yeah.
I've spent a lot of time with plant spirit this year and thank you. Like, and also like, yes, there's still more. And it was interesting though, because we've been talking about all this ancestral healing and how you were like, she says it's not hers. She doesn't want it. Like when spirit does that stuff, like, I don't want it either. So, we're going to send that back down the ancestral line, but.
Send it up.
Okay, cool. I'll send it up.
Send it up.
Cool.
Yeah, because none of them want it back. Yeah, is how it's coming through. It's kind of like
good advice for all of the ancestral healing that we will do. So,
yeah.
Perfect.
All right. Well, this was awesome, and we'll see everybody next Monday at 9:30 for another round of whatever the hell it'll be then.
Absolutely. And let's see, this week, tomorrow night, Rochelle and I will be talking about working with your higher self at 8 p.m.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
And then
I'll definitely tune in for that.
We are looking, so any of you intuitives out there, if you want to do readings Saturday night, I will not be doing readings Saturday night as of now, and Kat will not be doing music this weekend. So if anybody wants to give their shot at going live on their own, we are down. And then Sunday, Molly will be doing her Monday morning reset, and Chrystopher will be doing his weekly
Astro Medium.
Yes. And then we'll be back Monday. And also, can I sneak a couple things in on here since we're live? Let's make sure this is so accurate. But next week in the Intuitive Witch Tribe, we have an astrology lesson, right? Is that still accurate?
Oh, really? I'll do it. Yeah.
I wanted to make sure that was still on our calendar. So maybe we'll double check, make sure that still works for Monday.
Okay. Well, you might need to text me. I did not have this down, I don't think. So, but yes, I'm down.
We talked about it. Well, anyway, stay tuned for that. You'll come find the Intuitive Witch Tribe. And
I remember you saying that. I just don't remember getting a date.
Okay.
Wait. Yeah, you did give me that date.
Okay, cool. Well, we'll confirm, but
we're going to confirm.
Find us in the Intuitive Witch Tribe. We've got Monday Night Development Group there, my Intuitive Witch Circle, and Chrystopher's been doing some guest speaking, which I appreciate and love so much. And my website, y'all know already, it launches Friday, and I cannot wait. And I'm doing a giveaway on Instagram, so keep an eye out on that as well. Anything you want to add? Ways people can reach you?
Yes, people can go to my Instagram at the@astromedium, where I post daily transit forecasts and, of course, weekly forecasts on there for you to see what's going on more in depth in the cosmos. And then for bookings and readings with me, you can go to www.chrystophermedium.com, and that's Chrystopher with a Y. CHRYSTOPHER, medium.com.
Love it. Cool. Thank you again for my reading. That was really amazing.
You're welcome. I didn't, just like everything else, I didn't expect that.
I did not either. I thought we were going to start readings for other people. So
I know, no, it was all you, and I knew it was when it started.
All right, you guys, we will see you later. Much love. Have a great week. Celebrate the fall equinox. Set your goals for the next 6 months. Plant those seeds. Be clear and enjoy this amazing weather. Bye. See you later.
Bye.